What's good with it? Lucky Lefty podcast, prime time, right here on a Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday. That holiday is really throwing me off with this week because the 4th felt like a Monday, but it was actually a Tuesday, and we're right here on Hump Day, Wednesday night, and we're going to get into your questions and comments that we got from Monday's show because Monday's show was a hot topic. It is still trending. It's one of our highly viewed shows, because I think there were some emotions, some honesty, some facts that people might not have wanted to hear. That kind of forced people to take an honest look at what might be taking place with the Notre Dame football program, specifically in the area of recruiting currently and moving forward. And with you going back and looking at what you stated in the first 20 minutes of that show, and then, how you kind of wrapped it up at the end, coming from you from a player's perspective and someone that has a degree, for you, one of the hottest topics I would tell you, I don't know if you know, on the message boards, and definitely it was a hot topic over at the IB message board. We'll get into it shortly. Before we do that, YouTube, smash the button, thumbs up, helps with the views. We appreciate it. Then exclusively at CFB Nation, cfbnation.com. Right? Did I just say the website? CFB Nation on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. My apologies. Lock in. We need your support. We need your downloads each and every day. Show your love. Show your love for the Lucky Lefty podcast, as you've always done. We just went over 3,800 subscribers left. The climb to 4,000 is real. Like I said, we're going to get there. By the beginning of the season, 4 stacks. Then we're going to get to 5 stacks. We'll keep going. Because Lucky Lefty podcast, man, we already tell you. And you already know. Audio edibles every day. Home of the misguided passion. What else can we say? We spin it different. And we're going to continue to keep it funky. Big time talk about one of your biggest comments that came from Monday's show, Left. And something popped in my head. So I want to give you a chance to respond because there are a lot of people that disagree with your premise of when it comes to big time recruits, top recruits, Notre Dame not necessarily leading with the 4 for 40.
Yeah, I think that the 4 for 40 is a great saying to promote for the longevity of what Notre Dame can offer you. But for some of these guys and these top recruits, the 40 years needs to be conduced and reduced to a 4-year visual for a guy like a Justin Scott, who's the number 1 player, number 1 D lineman. You know his future is football for the most part. Present that 4 for 40 in a way that benefits guys. If you're going in there talking about yourself all the time, it just never comes across as if you care about the other person. So the 4 for 40 is great as a standard. It's great as a moniker, as a title, as a saying to have, because it does have a lot of meaning behind it. But you have to gear it towards what's important for these kids coming into school. You still have to sell yourself, even though you have a attractive quality that you have about yourself. Even with, when you're trying to attract the right woman, you may have a lot of money, but you still have to have some type of salesmanship, to be able to acquire such things. So it takes a little bit more than just to have all the nice things. You got to have a little game too.
Look, one of the comments that came back was a kind of in a sense of, yo, when you're in a room with a lot of beautiful women, and you're the short, bald, 5'7" guy, and all the other guys are the 6'1", 6'2" cut guys with a gray head of hair, and money is all you have, you know, man, maybe to get their attention, that's what you have to do. And for me, this is just me. I don't care what left. You know how it's. We've seen this in high school. Left. How many times in high school did you see the ugliest dude pull the head cheerleader or one of the girls that everybody liked?
There's some cases out there like that for sure.
But they never said anything to him. Like everybody in the school loves her, but you never say anything to her. You never spit any game. Here comes this dude out of nowhere. Like, how did he end up with her? He had confidence with what he had. It's not about just having 4 for 40. Like you said, Left, how are you selling it? Are you selling it shaky? Are you selling it with confidence? Are you going into it feeling like that's all I have? Man, I don't know if it's going to work. Are you scared to engage on top kids early enough because you're trying to figure out, oh, are they going to receive it? Are they going to be NIL, all about NIL, and now you're behind the ball or getting in on them early? It just begs the question, where's the confidence?
Yeah.
4 for 40. If you indeed are going to pitch it and lead with it, where's the confidence?
Yeah, that 4 for 40's got to be the Joker card. That's got to be
man.
That's got to be our full hand that we play every time because it's a very valuable piece of information to know, but that can't be your appetizer, main course, and dessert.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, yeah, that tastes great, but it's the appetizer. You serving the appetizer for the main course and then the main course for dessert. I don't. Yeah, it's a good meal, but it's not hitting the requirements of what it takes to be that 3-star or 5-star restaurant that has a 3-course meal. If you serve turkey and gravy the best in the world, I don't want it for 3 courses. I don't want it 3 times a day. We serving that up like the lunch ladies at the cafeteria at high school. The meatloaf special is good every now and then.
Hey, that pizza on Friday was fire though, bro.
I'm telling you.
With the butter cookie.
And that's what Notre Dame does every time. We're like in and out. All we got is a burger. And that burger is great. You can do so many things to it. Put tomatoes on, put the onions, the light spread, well done. But at the end of the day, if all you got is burgers, these kids got bigger palates. These kids is like, the burgers top notch. But hell, some days I want breakfast. Some days I want pasta. Some days gotta get a little soul food. And we like, but these burgers are number one. We've been around serving burgers before you was even born. We the Burger Kings. Why do you want pasta? That's not what we do over here. This burger get rich or die trying. Burger or die trying. And I think Notre Dame has to have some leniency. Man, get you some chicken nuggets on that menu, man. Just try it out. Just get some chicken nuggets on the menu. We know that's not your staple. But hell, it's something in addition. It's something in variety. And I think once we understand that, it'll allow ourselves to expand in recruiting. Right now, we're just a very stubborn child when it comes to this football recruitment. Just stubborn. It's like, man, it's a good and bad stubborn. We stick to our guns. We like that Raggedy Ann dog since the beginning. But you got Paw Patrol now. You got Spider-Man. You got the
Mm.
Black Panther. And you still want the Raggedy. We get it, it's tradition. But that new Spider-Man toy pretty bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can have both. We just happen to have one. So for us, man, I really think that we just have to be able to get a little buoyancy in our recruitment, man. We're too straight up and down.
Thank Adam Shipley for your review on your
Yeah.
food references. Let me take it somewhere else, left, and you might be able to relate to that. If not now, no, you should, right? Recently, because in a few years, your little guys will begin their journey with preschool, kindergarten, and matriculate into first grade, into junior high, and then high school, on to college. They will receive a folder or piece of paper at the beginning of the year from their teachers, letting you and your significant other know, their mom, what's needed from a supply standpoint for your child to excel in those classes. Am I right?
Yeah.
It could you need this type of glue, you need this many pencils, you need this many erasers, you need a folder, you need a binder for this, a binder for that, you need paint, whatever the supplies are, they're going to let you know. This is what you need to succeed. College football is telling everyone in recruiting, these are supplies that you need to succeed and excel moving forward in college football. Notre Dame, unfortunately, are the parents that get the supply list and never go to Walmart, never go to the supply store. They wake up the first day of school, oh snap, and they try to find everything on the list at home. And
Or
instead of sending everything that the teachers asked for, they try to make substitutes. Like, oh, we don't have this type of glue, but we do have this glue. And you can use, hey, here, use the crazy glue.
yeah, you're
We
supposed to
got
go.
crazy glue from your dad's, tool belt, but they asked for Elmer glue. Right, really? You're gonna send some crazy glue to class with a topper. That's for safety
You
reasons.
try to
That's smart. Notre Dame has their coaching staff out here ill-equipped to really battle and excel in recruiting. Period. And when it comes to the second quarter or the first quarter, and it's time for report card pickup, and you walk into that room, and as a parent, you sit down and you don't see the grades that you think you should see, and the teacher says, well, he has a lot of incomplete work. He never has the supplies he needs to do the work. He's always asking somebody next to him for their supplies. And then you sit there and wonder why you're getting the results you're getting, why you're looking at the grades you're looking at, while we as Notre Dame fans are looking at the recruiting classes and situations playing out in front of our eyes that we're looking at.
That's 100%. That's
Read
100.
the room, man. Read the room. College football and these top recruits are telling you what needs to be on the supply list to excel with them.
Yeah.
They're telling you every year.
And it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough to be in the running with some of these kids that are top kids. We need to be closing on some of these kids that are top kids. We always say there's no moral victories in being in the hunt with the top kids. You have to secure them. And I think for us, being able to do that, you're going to have to give some bend towards what some of these kids want, or at least some of that attention towards or acknowledgement that, hey, your needs are of our concern. We never put anybody in a position where we feel like we need them. Plain and simple. These other schools, they are not ashamed in their game. If you a top player, hey, they don't mind saying, hey, you are a guy. You gonna lead us to victory. Be in the face of the program. They don't mind that. They don't mind that. We are just always too good to highlight some of our best players. Jalen Smith should have been highlighted more by the school. The school didn't highlight Manti. ESPN highlight Manti. The school could have made, man, they could have did it big with some Manti marketing on campus. We just talking Notre Dame. Hell, the year we went undefeated in 2018, the school could have did more in that aspect. It felt like another 7-5 season when they went undefeated going to the playoffs in 2018. So Notre Dame has to embrace the love of the program and not just the love of the money it makes. Embrace the people in the program. Highlight the people in the program. Y'all make a magazine every other month highlighting something in some academic department. And y'all put us on the front of the student paper. It's not the same. That engineer magazine y'all drop every month, they got all these new things we doing and all these new ideas and technologies. That goes out to the whole alumni base. But all that's getting paid for through the football program. And through some good donations out there. But Notre Dame football, we got to do a good job of the school loving the program. Hell, it feel like sometimes the school treat us like an intramural squad when it comes to, hell, they treat the intramural teams with a little bit more respect in terms of giving them on campus media attention. So I think the football program's got to be really step by step. I think if you look at some of the top programs, Ohio State is step by step with the administration in and of itself. Like without Ohio State football, you don't really get a good depiction of what Ohio State is as a standalone. They're just a very synonymous brand. Ohio State football, Ohio State. Notre Dame and Interlochen ND is not synonymous with the football program. It's just not. It's Notre Dame, the brand. And then there's the Department of Football that they always highlight. They throw in a Rudy VCR or something like that. But when you think of Notre Dame, the football isn't the first thing. And the football program doesn't feel like it's the first thing. And that's what Marcus Freeman is trying to bring the two together. But as superstar power as he has, it's even hard for him to be highlighted by the school as the face of the school, as the face of the brand. It's more like he's like a damn near employee, like a teacher. You know how your gym teacher just is your head coach of the football team, but he's also the gym teacher. So you like, you work for us. So I think plays into it. It plays into the frustration.
Lucky Lefty podcast. We're going to get into some interesting things the second half of the show left. I have some statistics because we're going to talk about Notre Dame moving forward, right? And, I will say this, we were talking about an individual recruitment on Monday's show. I will say this, interior defensive line recruiting in the 2025 class, already with a big 300-pound out of Miami, Dixon in tow. is much better than it's been. But that does not forgive the atrocity of what took place with Justin Scott. So with a lot of people, we got comments asking for Marcus Freeman to be fired. First of all, Brian Kelly was 8-5 his first 2 seasons. Relax. Relax. I also have something else for the people that Notre Dame consistently in the NFL up to 2018 rested between 5th and 6th in draft picks and players in the NFL left.
Wow.
Programs with the most NFL draft picks post-COVID, right? So this would be Brian Kelly's last 4 classes, which we have told you begin to corrode the foundation of the Notre Dame football program. 2020, post-COVID left. You ready for this?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Georgia has 34, Alabama has 27, LSU has 23, Michigan has 22. But I keep hearing that Michigan doesn't recruit anybody. I keep hearing Notre Dame out-recruits Michigan. Okay. Ohio State 22, Penn State 20, Florida. They've been a mess over the last 3 years. 17. Oklahoma 17. Cincinnati 16. Pitt left. Pitt left. Pitt.
Terrible. Just terrible.
I said the University of Pittsburgh before I got to Notre Dame left. Pitt.
Terrible.
After in the mid 2000s, once again, constantly being 5th or 6th, going back and forth with LSU when it came to draft picks and players in the NFL. I said Pitt left.
Pitt.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Pitt.
It's just like
coming in at number 14. Or no, coming in at 10th on the list.
At 10th.
11th, I'm sorry. 11th on the list is Notre Dame, tied with Pitt, basically, at 10th with 14. Now, this is something. Now I understand, Left. We talked to Bruce Feldman, and remember he told us there were certain reasons and certain things in recruiting that he saw that led to the demise or Clemson taking a step back.
Right.
He talked about that. Clemson is behind Notre Dame in that same time frame. You talking about shocked? I was like, wait a minute. These numbers can't be right.
Yeah.
Clemson's at 13, Left.
13. Wow.
13, tied with North Carolina, Left.
And we know how North Carolina likes to give it up.
They're tied with North Carolina and Kentucky, Left. So, you want to understand what's been going on in Clemson?
13.
You want to understand what's been happening with Notre Dame from a talent standpoint? It's crazy.
Just not good enough.
It's crazy. And it goes directly to, as someone said in the chat already, yeah, you feel like Notre Dame is changing. Notre Dame will always give you the picture of change to make you feel like, oh, they're changing.
Yeah, that's true.
When in reality,
it's a facade.
You have to really ask yourself, are there considerable changes being made? And no one is asking Notre Dame to lower their standards. And dude, we're just asking you to equip your coaches and your staff and your administration with the resources that they need. That's it.
And it's like, why are we asking when we got it? We shouldn't have to tell you to go do it when you're sitting on the money to make it happen. That's why winning has been a choice for Notre Dame, not something we couldn't attain. We just aren't willing to spend what it costs to do it.
Mm-hmm. So, look, man, it is a very interesting conversation. We put the link to the podcast and audio edibles in the chat. Lock in each and every day. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, subscribe on YouTube. We just broke 3,800. It's because of you. We greatly appreciate you guys. Man, Lucky Podcast. We get ready to end this first session, the first half of the show, by saying that I do think things can change.
Yeah.
I think, and we'll talk about this more in depth, I think Marcus Freeman has showed with some of the decisions that he's made that he's identified the talent gap in certain things. I think they have tried to jump other teams and programs by improving the quarterback room. Immediately.
That's a big take.
Right? For him to say, yo, we have to do that now. Transfer portal and then via recruiting. And it seems like they've done that. But Deuce Knight, let me tell you something. It would be my suggestion that you don't lead with 4 for 40.
Yeah, that's just
my
not
suggestion.
I don't think that's the knockout blow you're gonna get. I think with Deuce Knight, it's got to be something to be the change Marcus Freeman has been coming to Notre Dame. Be that difference maker that Marcus Freeman has been. Be the same impact. Well, this is not a regular recruiting cycle for a guy like Deuce Knight at Notre Dame. This is taking that next step in the crossover of recruiting quarterbacks that other top quarterbacks feel comfortable coming to. Just because we got Sam, I don't think Sam is a signifier that it's the quarterback hotbed. We got to start running up at Notre Dame like they got Sam Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think that's the same feeling quarterbacks are getting. A lot of quarterbacks probably like, man, Sam lucky. He got his little chance. I hope he does well. Notre Dame going to make him look good. But when are we going to get that Baker Mayfield, that Deshaun Watson, that guy that's going to set off that room and be like, oh, if they got those guys over, let me try to go over there and follow up something like that. Be around something like that. It looked like they turned a superstar into a megastar at Notre Dame. All of Notre Dame stars always come out from under the grotto, you know, out of nowhere. You know, guys that popped on the scene and became an amazing, you know, developed player over the years. Give us that Jalen Smith again. Jalen Sneed, maybe. The opportunity to really be an attractive piece at the quarterback position. We need an attractive piece. Sam Hartman is benefiting. Doesn't make the position more attractive. It just means he's benefiting. What's our guy? Our guy from Wisconsin, Jack Cohn, benefiting. People wasn't biting at the chomps to go to Notre Dame after Jack Cohn. Even though we made Jack Cohn look better, people wasn't dying to go to Notre Dame after that. So when are we going to get that piece where people are like, oh, man, if he went there, I can go there. That's Deuce Knight. That's Deuce Knight. Remember, Kenny Minchie called up there.
You know something crazy, Left? just to go back to that, CJ Carr interest in Notre Dame was probably peaked more by the guy he played 7-on-7 with and sat behind than it was Jack Cohn.
Oh yeah, the guy we was recruiting got
CJ was like, "Oh snap, Dante, you on Notre Dame like that?"
That's how we got. Because if Dante wasn't as interested, CJ wouldn't be as interested. He would have liked it, or he would have came on later. But we leveraged Dante to get CJ, which
Facts.
is so it's
Facts.
So no quarterback we've had except Ian Book was the last one that had a regular recruitment. I believe Ian came here because he saw me, Deshaun, Brandon there. I don't think anybody was excited to be like, man, I got to follow Ian for real. And I think when it did come with a Phil Dracovic potential competitor opportunity, it was crushed. And maybe probably more damning to the whole quarterback world that we did feel like that to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
People was like, man, if Phil can't make it, we thought he was going to be the one. He ended up being who he is today. So if they was like, y'all can't make Phil good, and he was number one, I ain't going into that trap. Look who y'all playing now. He got 2,800 yards, and he's the winningest quarter. How? So it's been a very unsexy thing at Notre Dame after really Brandon played. For 10 years, it's been unsexy at the position. Ungravitational pull, like
non-gravitate.
Yeah, non-gravitate, like no swag coming behind that story in the quarterback room. Even Tyler Buckner, no lifeline. Drew Pine was more of a Make-A-Wish Foundation, living the kids' dreams. They play all his baby pictures on TV of wearing a Brady Quinn jersey. I'm sick of them pictures. All them babies look the same, wearing number 10 jersey. I don't want to see it at the quarterback position anymore. Let's get a guy who didn't know anything about Notre Dame and we just recruited him so well he became a fan at the end and he happens to be the number one quarterback. Let's try that out. We had to win this quarter. When's the last quarterback we actually won in recruiting? We didn't win Tyler Buckner. Tyler Buckner had Harvard, he had Alabama, and he had Notre Dame. He wanted to go to Notre Dame. Who have we really beat in recruiting to get a top quarterback? Really? Ev was the probably last one we was like, man, we really beat some teams out. We didn't think we was going to get Ev. That was almost 12, 15 years ago. Everybody else, including myself, it was just like, yeah, okay, we just get an offer. I took the advantage of it because I knew the importance of it, but so I guess I can say myself because I was thinking about going to Ohio State and Wisconsin at the time, but still, ever since, Brandon has been, because we beat Brandon. We actually, okay, I would say the last one is Brandon because Brandon was Penn State and we flipped him to Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 10 years ago. Other than that, it's been like, oh, we offer you, you're going to commit. Offer you, you're going to commit. Offer you, you're going to commit. No fight. And it showed up in the development. It's just been a bunch of, soggy competition. Plain, chicken noodle soup. No celery and carrots, just noodles and water, and that's about it. No cilantro.
Making broth.
Yeah, you just like porridge. You just making porridge. It's been a porridge room. Nobody out doing nobody else. And we didn't beat out Pitt for Kenny. Kenny was like, shoot, let me just try to see if I can do better than this.
Kenny looked at that class after coming from the Elite 11.
It was like
playing with big time receivers and said to himself, I'm the only 4-star in this class. That's what happened.
Yeah, so come on, let's get a regular recruitment going. Let's like a Deuce Knight is a very healthy showing
And
for the
he's
Notre Dame
telling
football.
you right now, it's Tennessee Notre Dame.
Yeah, like we have.
It's Josh Heupel versus Marcus Freeman. It's Tennessee's OC versus Jared Parker. It's Gino Guidugli versus that. Let's go. Here's the battle. Here's the battle.
And we
Here's the
cannot.
battle. And if the only thing you throw on the table is 4 for 40,
he going to Tennessee. It is what it is.
Because you can say what you want to. You darn right. Nico, I believe, are getting $8 million. You darn right. It's going to be on the table for Tennessee. Are they wrong? Are they wrong for putting it on the table?
Especially when it gets serious to signing day. They're going to be like, all right, just send a briefcase. Send a briefcase. Hit his agent up. You're going to have to get Notre Dame up out of here. They're going to start negative. They be like, look, Notre Dame can never have these type of meetings. Point blank, period. Notre Dame ain't doing what we doing over here. We're the SEC. Come on, you see what we doing with these guys. If I was Deuce Knight, I would just look at it from, man, listen, even if I go to Tennessee, politicking, we don't know what the situation may be there. At Notre Dame, it's really an open playing field. We don't have no dominant number one. We don't even know who's going to be after Sam next year.
And see what number one in defense fans, this is the problem. Because if that's the mindset, then that's a problem. Tennessee has another 5-star trying to go there, so we'll see how it all turns out. We could fall into Deuce. You're not about to fall into Deuce Knight, man.
Got to recruit.
There's always somebody. There's always somebody that's going to be talking. You're not about to fall.
Deuce Knight not thinking about he about to fall somewhere.
No.
He's like, who want me? I'm hot. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Tennessee going to recruit how they recruit. We just need to be able to secure a recruit. That's where we got to step our game up because our track record isn't great. We've been taking guys that are not top 5 in the class. And even the one that was lukewarm couldn't stay healthy long enough for us. Now, if we go to Alabama, then we be damned. We be damned.
And I'm talking when I say you can't, Notre Dame cannot approach his recruitment saying, Notre Dame can't be sitting there talking about, well, McIntyre could end up in Tennessee. So, he could just fall to it. Man, put in the work, man. I don't care what other quarterback Tennessee is looking at. Put in the work like he is the one. What are we talking about? All that information has zero to do with what Notre Dame's plan should be.
Right.
Zero. The entire staff should be all in. All in. Not to do what Tennessee is doing, not to do what anybody else across the nation is doing, all in to do everything Notre Dame has the resources and capabilities to do within the parameters that they set. If they set parameters, fine. And if they do everything within those parameters, I'm cool with it. But when you don't do everything, that's a problem, especially for top players. It's just a huge problem. It's just a huge problem. So when I saw Deuce Knight on his visit, I was there. And when I saw that Gino Gaduli called him out from amongst the other recruits, yes. Well, you can't. Why would you do that? You shouldn't make him feel special. What? All the other recruits stood on that sideline. There was only one recruit that stood on the field next to Gino Gaduli the entire practice. And that was Deuce Knight. Every recruit is not the same.
Every crew's not the same.
Not the same. So for all
you gotta
you,
treat your quarterback like he's a superstar. It's just period.
So
you did it to Jimmy.
So for everybody that feels like Notre Dame shouldn't beg for anybody, Gino Gaduli was begging. He was giving special attention in front of everybody. He let every recruit know that day, this is that dude. We want him. He made him feel wanted. And it made a difference. It just made a difference. He didn't make him stand on the sideline with the other 80 to 90 recruits and their parents. They were watching practice? No. Hey. Get him. Yeah, bring his dad, bring his mom. Yeah, take a picture with Coach. Take a picture with Coach Freeman. Yeah, yep. Yo, what's up? Hey, Deuce. Hey, Sam Hartman. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, Kenny Minchie. Yo, these are the quarterbacks. Yeah. You stand next to me. You stand next to me so you can hear the calls. You can see everything. You can see how we work. You can see how I coach and what I say. You stand next to me. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. And if Gino Gaduli can do it, if Jared Parker is on board, he's doing it. Because a lot of OCs could have been like, yo, what is he doing back there? Why is he on the field? I don't know. Jared Parker was like, okay, that's what's up. Chancey Stuckey walked over there, shook his hand. Yo, what's up, boy? Yeah, that's what's up. Dylan McCullough. Man, what's up, boy? Good to see you. Yeah, that's what's up. Everybody was on board. That's how you win big time recruits early on in the process, especially at the quarterback position. And that, unfortunately, in my opinion, for a long time, it's just, man, for a long time, hasn't been done. Hasn't been done. Sensational out there in Vegas. He says, I know if I was a 5-star in every college, except for one, it's treating me like I'm the one, I wouldn't be picking that one. Me personally, I'm not proud to beg. Hey, you're Notre Dame. So if you're in a room of beautiful women and you just happen to be the bald 5'5", the bald 5'5" guy, begging is beneath you. You got 6'6" Georgia, signing all types of 5 stars. 6'4", blonde Alabama, cut, signing all types of 5 stars. You're sitting here trying to compete. You're 5'5", bald-headed, a little frumpy. Don't really dress up too much, but you got money. Don't really show it, but you got money. It's amazing, man. NC Notre Dame fan. NC, are you from North Carolina? If so, I have a question, a vacation question. You can answer. Hopefully, you can answer for me. Um, a great beach area in North Carolina. I need a really dope, kind of romantic, just good vibe beach area in North Carolina for next summer. If you have any ideas, hit me up. I'm just going by, your name, hoping that you're from North Carolina. Now to get to your question. Um, I'm glad you asked that question. You should go search out the article in the Athletic. I believe it was Bruce Feldman, Stuart Mandel, where they tracked, and we're going to get into this. Matter of fact, pause for the cause. Subscribe, YouTube, smash the like button. Because we're closing the first half of the show. Audio Edibles podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. The link is in the chat. Go to CFB Nation right now. We are exclusively on CFB Nation. We are no longer on the Irish Breakdown feed. So if you want us each and every day, go lock in at CFB Nation. We'll post the link on our social media feeds as well. Because great conversation. We're getting great questions. We're going to continue that in the second half of the show right now as we lock in right here on the Lucky Lefty podcast. Second half of the show, Malik will be back handling business right quick. And we want to make sure that everyone understands that we just discussed some of your biggest concerns and questions that came from our show on Monday. We were dealing with one specific recruit, and we just talked about and expanded on some of those questions you had, answered those for you, and really broke down, where Notre Dame is in recruiting. Great question here from NC Notre Dame fan. It's almost like, if I get insurance and I don't have accidents, do I get my money back? Unfortunately, this is college football. It doesn't work like that, right? That's like saying if you get a 5-star quarterback, take the NIL away. If he's a bust, then you got a problem. So I just don't understand what NIL has to do with it. When the bigger issue is, can he play? That's the problem. So now, especially since Notre Dame just hired a new director of scouting, if you went out and got the 5-star that can't play, that's bigger than NIL. That's on your talent evaluation. That's on your talent evaluation. I doubt very seriously if Dante Moore's a bust. I doubt very seriously if Keon Keeley's a bust. I doubt very seriously if Peyton Bowen's a bust. I doubt very seriously if Justin Scott is a bust. I doubt it. So in the grand scheme of things, what are we really talking about?
You hear me? I doubt if Dante Moore is a bust.
No. And then the question is what are we searching for? Well, are we trying to excuse Notre Dame from not moving forward? Are we trying to give Notre Dame reason to continue to lose ground in recruiting? Because the first thing we want to throw up is NIL. We just gave you a fabulous example on the impact on Deuce Knight that had zero to do with NIL, and the first thing people want to throw up is NIL. We ain't say anything about NIL and Deuce Knight. We talked about how to impact this young man as a staff. Because if you have identified him as the dude, as Gino Gaduli has, then that means you have measured twice and you've cut once. You've done your due diligence to say this is the guy. The same way Tommy Reese did his due diligence to say Dante Moore is the guy. He just couldn't get him. The same way. So what are we really talking about? You keep talking about giving a 17-year-old money, dude. What are we talking about? Stop trying to make up reasons for Notre Dame not to come into the future, bro. Just stop. Stop. Caleb Williams left Oklahoma strictly for NIL. Did he get his money as an 18-year-old left and not play? I don't think so. Dylan Raiola is going to get his money. Did he not play? Oh, how about the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft? He got his millions and never took a snap never took a snap until the end of his freshman year. Did he sit back on his laurels and say, I got my money, I'm going to chill here and not get better at the University of Alabama? Or did he go into the film room, as reported, and watch every piece of film that the quarterback in front of him watched twice? He thought he should have started as a freshman. Yeah. He gets beat out by the eventual Heisman Award winner.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
He gets beat out by the eventual Heisman
Award winner.
And you know what he was doing the entire year? He heard the film room guy say he's the starter because he watched every piece of film in here twice.
Come on, Bryce Young, right?
Yes. So you know what Bryce Young did with his millions? He stopped. See, this is the problem. You asked me for examples. I'm giving you examples of 5-star players that got money and chose to work. And you want to keep bringing up, you keep trying to make excuses for why Notre Dame shouldn't get into NIL. Stop. Because the one thing 5-star players want to do is win.
Yeah.
And they want to play with other good players. But Notre Dame should take a pause because, heaven forbid, they give money to a 17, 18-year-old, and then all of a sudden he has his money and he doesn't want to play. Well, that's a character issue that you should have saw in recruiting and talking to him. That's on you. Bryce Young had great character. CJ Stroud got his money. He had great character. And we can point out a bunch of kids that got money had great character. But we're going to pause because in the example, Jamarcus Russell in the pros? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
We're going to go to Jamarcus Russell as an example. Nico Iamaleava got $8 million from Tennessee. He's already said, I want to start this year. I'm coming to take. He's not sitting back saying, oh, it's Joe Milton's job. So this flies right in the face of everything you're saying. Nico Iamaleava, super laid back kid from California, going to Tennessee in the SEC with him and his whole entourage, has come out and said, yo, I'm trying to start.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a kid that's resting on his millions?
No, it doesn't.
As a 5-star? Well, what are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? Show me the example of a 5-star when NIL started that got, first of all, that got the money. because there have been problems with players that didn't get the money they were promised. That's a different story. That's a different story. So yes, if you didn't give me the money you said you're going to give me, I might not give you the effort. And there are stories out there about that. But once again, show me an example of the 5-star in the last 2 years that got the money. Blake Ewers left Ohio State because he didn't want to wait behind C.J. Stroud. He didn't leave because he didn't want to play. He didn't leave because, oh, I got my money, and now I'm just not going to give effort. He left to go find a starting spot because he wanted to play, and he wants to win.
Yeah.
What are we talking about, man? Are we that scared of oh my God, NIL? Somebody can actually take their money and run. What are we talking about? Are you not watching 5-star players? Let me give you a clue. 5-star players want to go to the NFL, and you don't get to the NFL by slacking.
Right. Don't get there by slacking.
You're not the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft by slacking.
Or by waiting.
No.
Don't have me waiting all day either.
No. So no, you don't get to get your money back. Do your homework. Do your homework. Actually recruit Caleb Williams. And don't be scared to recruit him. Actually recruit a kid who has a coach who played at Notre Dame in high school in his ear, getting him interested along with his father in Notre Dame. Recruit him. But did Notre Dame do so? No.
Call it Keaton Slovis.
So wait a minute.
Utah State right now.
So when he comes out with his nails painted before the Notre Dame game, he's not being a butthole. He actually has motivation for why he feels that way. You might not like the motivation. You might not like what he painted on his nails. But he felt like he was disrespected by Notre Dame because he tried to holler at them and they ignored him.
He tried to pull a Kenny Minchie. And we wasn't even.
And they ignored him.
They said we'll take Drew Pine instead.
Facts.
I mean, Tyler, well, same thing.
So it's like, dude, as we said in the first half of the show, and the reason I brought up that question because recruits continue to tell you what they need. And if you are scared to deliver what they need,
or unwilling,
that's on you. That's on you as a program. So you can sit back and question the money, question if you're going to get your money back. Fine. I don't see anybody in here in this chat driving around without insurance. Left, you got insurance for your car?
Yeah.
I know I have insurance.
Hell yeah.
Everybody in the chat, do you guys have insurance for your car? Do you get your premium back at the end of the month? Do you get your premium back after 6 months?
Yeah.
Do you get your premium back after a year? Do they send you a check saying, oh, you didn't have an accident, so we're going to give you the money you paid into this insurance? No. The game, it is what it is. The game is the game.
The game is the game.
Recruiting is recruiting right now. That's it. And if you don't want to do it,
play is just
if you choose not to play, that's fine, man. But we're not about to sit up here and make excuses.
Yeah, that's
talking about kids might not play hard. What are we talking about? Kids go to college. Kids go to college with the dream of getting to the NFL until they realize that dream is no longer a reality.
Yeah, and that's
period.
Like your senior year. If you ain't got some injuries,
Yes.
You like a lot of different stuff. It's different.
Yes. And so we say this to say, no, Marcus Freeman should not be fired. No, we do not advocate for Al Washington to be fired. As you said before, the interior defensive line recruiting in 25 is solid right now.
Solid.
The recruits he got from the edge in the 24 class is solid right now. But he bears watching.
Yeah, we watching.
And look, Brian Driscoll said something that's scary. He said, as much as you want to talk about Al Washington, he's the second best defensive recruiter they have on the staff right now.
Yeah, well, that's because the other ones are non-compete.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I couldn't even disagree.
Yeah.
I couldn't even disagree. I was just like, yo, you're right. So I teased an article that Bruce Feldman and Stuart Mandel, and I believe there was one more author that contributed. And they talked about looking at the NFL Pro Bowlers and the NFL All NFL team left. And they tracked the stars, the 3 stars, the 4 stars, and the 5 stars. And what became abundantly clear is that offensively, there's so much nuance to offensive skill positions that you will find more 3 stars ending up at wide receiver and at running back on the all NFL and Pro Bowl teams, because offense is more than just physicality. There's nuance. Yeah. And you find receivers and running backs all over the country, right? It's not just about the 5-star running backs or receivers, right? Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, right? Dude, I'm just giving you examples of guys that weren't 5 stars.
A lot of it too is fit, man. You got to find the offense that you
system.
Fit into,
yes,
because those are the ones, aka Charlie Jones. Charlie Jones wasn't getting who Charlie Jones was until he went to the right coach that fed him the football.
Yes.
And 1 year changed our whole perspective. We call him Cooper Kupp Jr. It's that he's the best receiver. Outgained all of Notre Dame's receivers 1 year. You do that when you go to the right place. And then he's going to the Bengals. So it's just like, that's another good opportunity. Shit. So,
Adam Shipley points out Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. His brother was more famous when he was going in.
Absolutely.
And he made himself a name those last 2 years. It's just like, look at that.
It's amazing, man. So when we really talk about this, you see the offensive side of the ball, now the quarterback position, more than any, is a direct path in a lot of ways with 5 stars, ultimately being high draft picks, and ultimately being, look, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Burrow. I don't think Josh Adams was a 5-star, but heck, Josh Adams by his sophomore year, after he went up to Iowa and put up the game he put up against them, he was a star in college for 2 years. He was well known. He might not have been a 5-star, but people saw his size and were like, all right, Justin Fields, 5-star, right on the come. What's that guy in Philly? Highly touted, coming out of high school. Jalen Hurts. Tua, highly touted, coming out of high school. So yes, the quarterback position, you got to go get a dude. You have to go get a Deuce Knight. You have to go get a CJ Carr. You have to. You have to go get a Dia Bell.
You got to go name brand. You can't go great value. You got to go name brand on quarterback.
No. Same way I go name brand when it comes to appliances, left.
Yeah.
I don't play that game. Especially TVs. I don't know.
Yeah, TVs, you got to go name brand on TV.
No disrespect. But man, I'm a Samsung. I'm a Samsung dude. I just am.
Yeah. Just them.
Yeah, you can talk to me about that corporation and their leadership and all this. Man, look, I'm buying a product. They make a darn good product.
Gotta go name brand on the cereals, man.
Man, when I'm in Best Buy looking for the best picture and 4K possibilities, I don't care nothing about their CEO.
Nothing about it.
Nothing. So I'm supposed to take a bad picture when I'm watching Notre Dame football, or less of a great picture, a less stellar picture, because I don't like the political views of the CEO. Hey, I'm just not that dude. It's not that deep for me. If it's that deep for you, then by all means. We go to the defense side of the ball, and this article points out, Left, that it's more physical. It is about the physical traits defensively. And the reason you see a higher level of 5 stars on the All-Pro and Pro Bowl teams defensively is because it correlates straight from high school into high school 5 stars, get in, play early, establish a name by the freshman year, become dudes their sophomore years, and all of a sudden, preseason, NFL mock drafts going into their junior years, they're at the top. They get to the NFL
at the top,
and the majority of the time, they're successful. And they become and project to who they thought they were going to be. Do some miss out and get to the NFL? Because the NFL is different. I do agree that once players get to the NFL, it really is an even playing field. And what I mean by that, Left, now it's the best of the best. Left, tell the story. The day Jalen Smith stepped on the practice field, it was no question who the best player on defense was.
Yeah, facts.
As a freshman. Am I correct?
Yeah, he was the man going in, but he had the hype going in too, you know.
And then you saw him practice and you were like, oh, that's it. A dude get drafted in the first round, steps on the field, he might not be that dude the first day. It might be some other dudes on that field that were 5 stars too, that he has to put in the work that they put in on the NFL level to get to that level. You got all the potential, but it's the NFL now, baby. Everybody up here is good. Everybody can go up here. Even the ones you never heard of. They can go a little bit. Even the Aaron Donalds that weren't 5 stars. Yeah, this dude can go. So it's amazing how, when you look at the defensive numbers and how physicality relates, on the defensive side of the ball, especially, because Notre Dame can cut to the chase offensively. They can just make sure they get the quarterback. If you get the quarterback offensively, you kind of cut through the red tape and the minutia and take a jump, like Clemson did. But Clemson, along with the quarterbacks, went and got the 5-star defensive lineman on the other side to match it.
They built.
That's what they got.
The quarterback. It became. Look at the NFL. The Chiefs had the youngest defense in the league, and you can do that when you have the quarterback, and that's the same for us. We'll get a long way with having a really good quarterback, but with Marcus Freeman and his talent is really going to show us once he's able to get that quarterback, how he surrounds it buffers the defense. around that,
Mm-hmm.
with young guys like a Ben Morrison, a Jaden Mickey, a Christian Gray, a Jalen Sneed, Nolan Ziegler, is great when you can do that because you know you're supported on the other side with a great quarterback that's going to give you a chance. Sam Hartman this year is going to give us a chance, so I would expect a lot of younger guys on defense this year to be more in an active role in a playing position, you know.
Mm-hmm. So Notre Dame, in their own way, has to take it there, left.
Yeah.
They have to be willing to take it there. They just do. They might have to get into some situations and check and check and check and check all night and screw Teddy up like Matt Damon did in Rounders.
Yeah.
Right? You're not the house. You're not the bank. You're playing from behind. Do what you have to do. Check, bluff. Do what you got to do. Have a plan until you start winning on the field and until you start pulling some of these guys. But don't just sit there. Have a plan. Figure out Teddy's read. Make him throw the Oreos because he doesn't know that he's giving away his hand. Do something. And go get these defensive studs to come to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because look, Notre Dame has, if they identified that the quarterback was a problem, I guarantee that Notre Dame, look, they put in more work than Left and myself. Left said it last year. He said Benjamin Morrison chirping, that's cool. Defensive backs chirping, that's cool. Until we get dudes on that front line chirping, ain't nothing happening.
Yeah. Nothing I'm afraid of.
And Left, when you said that, people took umbrage with it.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What does he mean? Until you get studs, impactful studs on that front line consistently, the needle is not moving past where Notre Dame has already been. They've been to college football playoffs. They've done that already. Done it. Been there. Done that. And I know the staff, they're smarter than us, Left. They're smarter than us. If Marcus Freeman can identify that quarterback room halfway through year one, I guarantee you he's identified the defensive line the same way he identified the linebacker problem when he arrived as a defensive coordinator.
That's facts. He knows this.
The staff knows what they need to do. They know. Now,
But knowing and doing are two different things, you know.
Yes, sir. You said it. You said it. Knowing and doing are two different things. But Notre Dame can absolutely take it there. They can absolutely move forward. This man, the Justin Scott thing, regardless of how it plays out, should end up just being a blip. It should just end up being a blip. But here's the problem, Left. There's been a whole lot of blips in the last 10 years. This comes from post-game. He said, man, I didn't know Indy could have had Luke Kuechly and A.J. Dillon and dropped the ball. Yes. Yes. You know who else they could have had and they dropped the ball? Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That was Alfred's recruit too.
Yes. It's a lot of drop balls. It's an interesting offensive staff that looks at A.J. Dillon and says, we like you better at linebacker. Left. They told him they liked him better at linebacker. It's an interesting staff that would tell Ezekiel Elliott, you know, we think you should play cornerback for us.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Really? Really? Cornerback. Word? Yeah. Young Kid 2K. Left, as we get ready to get out of here, is the Ohio State game a must win for the coach?
For who? For Ohio State's coach or our coach?
I'm assuming Marcus Freeman.
It's a must. Is it a must win? I think every game is a must win for Marcus Freeman, considering what he is trying to accomplish and where he's at. I think with the playoff format as it is, losing that game could be detrimental for the season. So we talk every time about 3 games that we need every year. This is one of the 3 that's going to put us in a contention of anything serious. Now, if we out there just trying to give Sam a great year to have so we go to the league, we have a team set up for that. But these 3 games are the season makers or breakers, unfortunately.
I second that. D. Beasley, our girl. Thank you for the super chat. And Malik and ND opened the bag with the floodgates open for recruits.
It wouldn't open the floodgates, but we would snag some recruits a lot easier, and we would have our net and catch like 3 or 4 a year. We may not get Georgia's 20, but we'll get 3 or 4 because I think we would have had Dante. And that's just being like realistic to what these kids in these top positions deserve. I mean, if you're the number 1 player, you're gonna have to get some money now.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, if you was the number 1 player, Shaun, your son was the number 1 player.
Oh, I already told you, Left. I already told you.
Because I'm number 1, I have to get money.
I already told you.
So if Notre Dame don't got that NIL deal, then you're not getting the top 10 players.
I don't have a problem with anybody getting their money.
Like, because it would be wrong, you know.
But my son is going to learn. We're not about to sit here and lie. And you're gonna tell these coaches. We're gonna tell these coaches what your top priorities are and what you're looking for from the jump. You darn right. I'm the number 1 player. You darn right. NIL is in play. What are we talking about?
It's got to be, yeah. Don't come over here. But that's Keon Keeley. Keon Keeley was like, look, Marcus Freeman, I love Notre Dame. But that money got to start falling around somewhere.
But you're falling short in NIL, and you can't develop me for the league like these other schools.
You ain't got a Larry Johnson, and you ain't paying no money. Why should I be here? No Larry Johnson, no money.
And Notre Dame fans.
No Will Anderson either.
Notre Dame fans will blame the kid.
Yeah.
Who's looking out for his best interest and his path to the NFL. So it's tough. Lucky Lefty podcast. As we get out of here, thank you for everybody that joined us tonight. Stayed up with us. Don't forget, CFB Nation, we need you to lock in. That link, we put it in there once, and I put it in once again for you guys to go and subscribe to CFB Nation for our daily audio edibles on CFB Nation. Do that for us. We would greatly appreciate it. Well, Left, interesting show. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning. But you know what time it is.
Petticoat. Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story today brought to you by Onora Whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com, that premium American whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com. It's a quick petty train tonight. We'll get out of here. But look, man, I don't know what this in-season tournament is in the NBA. Man, get this bull crap.
In-season tournament? What's that?
Yeah, they just ratified that it's going to be an in-season tournament during the season for the NBA. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. The play-in is one thing.
What's the in-season tournament?
Well, you know, people really don't start watching the NBA until
After the All-Star break.
So now they're trying to make it appeasing for fans to come. For what? For what?
They got to fix load management. That's the problem.
It's greed, man. It's greed. That's what it is. It's greed. I come into the season next year. Look, I already know who LeBron James is. LeBron James doesn't have to prove another thing to me, Left. Not
That's
one
fair.
more thing. If LeBron James wants to, LeBron James says I'm playing 50 games in the regular season, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we cool.
No, he has zero to prove to me.
Let the young guys put them 82 games in.
He's one of those guys that went out religiously and played the 82. Or at least tried to.
Yeah, he's only played 82 twice.
But if he's not hurt, he's playing. You understand?
Yeah, he's playing. He's playing.
It really wasn't until he started getting injured, the hamstring with the Lakers, the other injuries, then you start to see with Cleveland, that dude was pretty much playing
every time. Yeah,
every time. Miami, he was playing. When I see rookies load managing, cats that haven't put it out there load managing, what are we doing, man? And now, instead of handling the situation because you're so tied into the players and you're a players commissioner, Adam Silver, you won't make the players do the right thing and handle load management. No, but this is what we'll do. We'll come up with a marketing plan and have an in-season tournament. And the in-season tournament, the stats can count. No.
What's the value of it, though? Like, is there a championship in it or something?
Man, look. I'll have more tomorrow Left.
That's crazy.
Because I'm really going to dig in on it. But just the announcement. For the announcement to come down. Man, you better off having a tournament with the rookies that counts for your teams at the Summer League.
The Summer League. Yeah, the Summer League. Make that count.
Nobody's interested in this crap, man. Maybe we can finally get to the quarterback room in our evaluation. With the stuff that happened with Justin Scott, responding to that and talking about Notre Dame moving forward. And look, 2025 class is very promising. Not only with the guys they have committed, but the young men that truly are looking at Notre Dame and view Notre Dame highly in their recruit. It is a very promising class in 2025. It is. 24 could just be a blip. You don't like it because you want it to stack on the 23 class. They still have time to flip kids in the fall.
Yeah.
So things could change by National Signing Day. But by all questions, yes, Notre Dame. Absolutely, Notre Dame can move on. Absolutely, they can. Absolutely, they can be successful. They just need to do some things to take it there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this little bit of information for you, Left. Like I said, we'll get into it tomorrow, Left.
All right, bet.
We'll get into it tomorrow, man. Because for Left, I'm Shaun Davis. We appreciate you. Lock in. LuckyLeftyPod.com. LuckyLeftyPod.com. Should be live no later than Friday.
Uh-oh.
LuckyLeftyPod.com, the
Lucky
official
Lefty
website
Pod.
for LuckyLeftyPod.com. And Left is going to drop some really, because he's already looked at the film.
Already looked at the film.
We're gonna have Left in depth on certain quarterbacks and what
right.
they would mean to Notre Dame with their skill sets. And that's exclusively going to be seen on the website.
Ooh.
So we're going to give you content. Well, then we're going to give you reason to go to the website. We're going to give you merchandise. That's going to be stacking up on a weekly basis.
Newsy
LuckyLeftyPod.com. So for Left, I'm Shaun Davis. We bid you do until tomorrow morning. Another edition of the Lucky Lefty Podcast. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys.